Hi, this is On Imagination with the ethical asshole, and I am your host, the salty bitch. Are you ready for this one? This is easily like my favorite topic ever is Zoroastrians Vendidad versus Norse mythology. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm sitting here researching when was Zoroastrian written? What's the documents? Give me the dates. I want to see documentation. So and this is interesting because it's definitely been doctored between the 6th century and 1323 CE. So we're looking at and this is it. This is exactly why I'm doing a video, is because I'm getting multiple data and I'm going, whoa. So multiple data means tampering, lies, and definitely modifications, which is a huge red flag. So now it's a question of, okay, where's the point of origin? Now, I'm looking through this and I can tell you right now, this is not tampering. What I'm witnessing when I'm looking through this is called integration. Very, very different. So integration is what we saw with the Irish myths with Christianity. So what we see is tagging on. It's the compounding. So that's what I'm seeing. It's not, let's erase the origin, which is lies. That's like, oh, that's a cover up. So I'm not seeing a cover up. Not at all. No, there's no evidence at all of a cover up. What I'm seeing is amendments. And that's the difference. An amendment is normal, and actually it's very healthy. That's what we're supposed to see. So now it's like, okay, so then we can like shave off the compounded added parts and okay. So that's great. I'm not seeing any evidence like we're going to completely erase any existence of this. That says guilt, I did a crime and I'm trying to cover it up. So what I'm seeing is integration and compounded add-ons and extensions. So that's healthy. So that's human nature. That's great. So I'm seeing it from 600 CE to 1323. And then I said, okay, I narrowed it down. So this is what's going on. You have the yasna, and the yasna consists of two parts. You have the Old Avestan part and the Young Avestan. Now that's very healthy. Again, so you have basically stuff that was written in the old language and the newer language, which is great. You can see that evolution taking place. It's healthy. It's compounding. Beautiful. That's human health. Very good. So now we know that Zoroaster appeared in 600 BCE. We see that with Cyrus the First all over the place. And Zoroaster worked with Pythagoras and Confucius. So we've got Confucius, we've got Pythagoras, we have Cyrus the First. Now we've got 3 phenomenal data points where we're going, wow, look at that, 3 data points. So this is what the summation is. Zoroaster is the founder of philosophy. That's what this is. Zoroaster is the founder of philosophy. So I'm now looking at the common denominators of philosophy. Oh, poor me. And I'm looking at this going, okay, so let's look first at Zoroastrian and let's look at the progression of Zoroastrian. So I'm looking at the Vendidad, and that tells me it's been tampered with. Well, not tampered. It tells me that it's just been added on, which is normal. Okay. I would not call this tampering. I would call this basic healthy amendment. Now, I'm going to show you something. There's one living example where we've already seen this at work. It's called the United States Constitution. We see this. When it was first written, it had like 12 amendments. And now it's up to like 638. Not really, it's a metaphor. And we can see how as our laws change, our Constitution gets amended. Now, our forefathers, this is one of their geniuses, decided to amend it. And that's what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to see a core Constitution, and then you're supposed to see those healthy amendments come in that reflect our evolutional growth. Look at that. We've grown. This is really good. So congratulations, Americans. We're growing. You can actually track our rate of growth. Are we all listening? By seeing how often we get an amendment. And you can literally use the Constitution to see how we ethically have grown. Look at that. It's a little track record of our ethics. We're doing such a good job. I'm very proud of us. Good. Very good. Now, Zoroaster is doing the same thing, only they started their book, their constitution, around 600 BCE. So they've got one that's going a little longer than ours. So from 600 BCE, you got the Gathas, and that's what Zoroaster himself supposedly written. So you're watching the Gathas, and it's like do 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 do, and it's like okay, all right, everything's going great. There's a lot of THs in Persia. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I see. Wow. The truth shall set you free. Wow. Just wow. The human is one of the most extraordinary thing ever. It truly is. It's to me, it's life is absolutely the most beautiful thing there is. When you have an origin, you can't stamp it out. You will not stamp out origin. You can't do it. No matter how much you try, you cannot stamp out origin. It comes back. It cannot die. That's why it's an origin. It's the common denominator of all life. You know what doesn't have a TH in it? Latin. There's no TH in Latin. It was manufactured. You know what doesn't have a TH in it? You know what else doesn't have a TH in it? Ancient Greek. Well, they had theta. They had theta. But ancient Greek came from Old Persian. And that's what they don't tell you, is that ancient Greek is actually a compound from Old Persian. And Avestan is filled with that TH. They had words like Gathas and Zarathustra. They changed the name Zarathustra to Zoroaster because they couldn't pronounce the th in Zarathustra. Fascinating. You know who else had the TH? Old Norse. The Old Norse. It was called a thorn. Thor. Father. They had two. So they had Idun, the and the th, which is why we have the and th. It came from Old Norse, except, and this is why I'm doing this, they had another word called mithril. The same mithril that Tolkien used. But this is where it gets interesting. Old Persia had Mithras. So now I'm asking the question, which came first? Persia or Norse? I want to show you something because this is where it gets really, really interesting. The Zoroasters had something called Asha, which means wisdom. It was the place of pure wisdom. Do you know why Odin had one eye? His name was actually Odin. Do you know why he had one eye? A lot of people don't know this. It's because he was on a pursuit of wisdom. He was dedicated. Odin was an Ashavana. That's why. He was dedicated to knowing the truth. Now, it is said that when you go in pursuit of truth in Old Norse, you go to the well of wisdom, which was referred to as Mimir's well. Mimir's well. Now, if you play around with the word Mimir, Mimir was a giant, and they had a giant by the name of Ymir. Ymir is also in Old Persia. as well, and in Zoroastrian. And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, you have Ymir. Ymir in Old Persian and the exact same name in Old Norse. Now, this is getting really interesting. In Persian, we had something called the life tree or the tree of life, which was monitored and guarded by the god of the underworld, who was a snake lover. That's why we have snakes on the rod of Caduceus, is because of this guy. I don't remember his name. It was like Nib something, Nibishikida or something like that. And the Zoroasters also had something else. They had a severe passion for ye old fire pit. So fire worship. They were the ones who did the whole, here is a fire, let's sit around and this is like old. We're talking old shit. Real old. So old. And it's so old that around 8,000 BCE, they have something called the fire hills with the ash mounds. And it is hypothesized that the first parts of civilization were Zoroastrians who would go to these fire hills and ash mounds, and they would burn for so long. They would have so many of them that it was just piles and piles, mountains of ash from their fires. Now, according to Norse mythology, there is a tree of life called the ash tree, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil was an ash tree. We're not done yet. The god of the underworld in Mesopotamia, by the name of Nigmishidir, or let me just go ahead and look it up here. What is this man's name? God of underworld, Mesopotamia, snakes. He also, no, not Ninazu. Come on. Ningishda. So I just got to get this guy's name down. Ningishzida. Okay? This person also had something called a Mushusu. Mushusu is a dragon. It gets better. So we have found the source of the world's first dragon. According to Norse mythology, Yggdrasil's ash tree had a massive world worm around it. What was his name? Oh, what is his name? I know it off the top of my head and I can't remember it right now. Damn it. So we're just going to do this. World worm Norse myth. Oh, what is his name? Jormungand. Jormungand, the Midgard serpent. So I'm looking at this going, wait a minute. So we have Ningishta, who had the life tree. He loved snakes and dragons. And we've got the tree of life with Yggdrasil, which is an ash tree in Norse mythology. We have Mimir's well, which came from the blood of Ymir the giant, which is the same name for Old Persians, Ymir. And we have fire worship. So now I'm looking at this going, fascinating. And we've got Odin, who is an Ashavana, pursuit of wisdom. We have Mithril. We have Mithra. Even the word myth. So now I'm asking the question. Here's a word I've never looked up before. What is the etymology of the word myth? Now, I know what ology means. Let's look up the word myth. Mythos. Mythos, and it's saying that it's Greek. Now, I already know what I know because I'm looking at this going, no, it's not. No, it is not. The word Myth, which has been originated from Latin mythos. No. No. The birth of the word myth has no connection with, which has no Sanskrit ancestry at all. Is the English word myth derived from Sanskrit for the word mythia? Without me even looking at this, wow, boom. Just got to take a massive step back here. This is just me looking up the etymology of the word myth, and this is what I find. This is other people asking these questions. Somebody else has already thought of this. Myth equals mythia. Mythia is a Sanskrit word meaning lie or false. Hopefully will be a fascinating read. So now you got mythia. There we go. Mythia. For lie or false. Now I want to read another part to you here. First used in the 17th century, which means around the 1600s, when shit went down, the word lie or false was added to our dictionary and labeled on all of these stories called myth. But they missed one. Two, actually. Irish mythology remained Irish legend, and ancient Mesopotamian religion never got changed to myth. So in the 1600s, some asshole, his name was probably John Filmer or King John. Google John Filmer and look what he's responsible for. He's the founder of the word patriarchy, just to give you an idea. Don't you touch my Jolly Rancher. Did you just give me a Jolly Rancher and then you totally took it back because you ate all the other ones? Is that what you did? You ate all the Jolly Ranchers and then you had a craving and you went, I want a Jolly Rancher. I ate them all. I gave one to Mom. I'm going to go take her Jolly Rancher. And she only had 5, but I had the whole bag. And you just came and took my gifted Jolly Rancher. So I'm getting a cherry one that tastes like syrup and cough medicine. While you take the yummy blue one that I haven't even tried yet. What do you want? What do you want? No, do you want the blue one? Take the blue one. Are you sure? I will. It's good. Here, come here. No, switch it. This has to be ethical. just give me a minute, all right? Go ahead. How about if we cut them in half? Oh, that'll be fun. Oh, that would be interesting. What if we cut them in half and then we try them at the same time and get a new flavor? She's thinking about it. I'm going to leave it up to you. You decide. So, do you enjoy the cherry ones? Yeah. Because I don't. Every time I taste cherry candy, I go, this tastes like cherry medicine from the 80s. I like all of them. Oh, I can't stand it because it reminds me of that Benadryl when I was a kid. Oh, it's like, oh my God, Benadryl. It's so disgusting. All right. So some asshole in the 1600s went around and wrote myth, lie on all the religions. That's fascinating. That's fascinating to me. I'm like, all right. And what's funny is other people are asking the same questions. Where did this word come from? What does this mean? Look at this. Isn't this interesting that it's over here? Oh, there's no word Sanskrit. Listen, but it is. It's the same. And I'm sitting here going, it's the same fucking word. Words tell the truth. So, this is fascinating. Dun, 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 dun. See, this is what happens is when you get contradiction. It's a red flag. When it's consistent, it's all aligned. So I'm sitting here looking now at Zoroastrian, and I'm like, when did this book come into existence? And I get 4 different answers. I'm like, what the fuck? Now, when I went, and this is it right here, is it's I know who did this. And I'm just going, okay, just find the carbon dating. And there's no carbon dating. And I'm going, so we have this ancient book and no one's carbon dated it. Why aren't you carbon dating? Just saying. So I cannot ignore the parallels between Old Norse and Zoroastrian Persian. I can't. There are too many to ignore. This thing is just lighting up like a Christmas tree, and I'm going, what the fuck? There are more similarities between Old Norse and Zoroastrian and Persian and ancient Mesopotamia than any other religion I have ever seen anywhere. Fortunately, I spent 10 years doing nothing but studying Norse mythology. So I know my shit when it comes to Norse mythology. So as I'm dissecting this, and I'm just going, and all I have to, so here's our problem. I got to think here for a minute. All right, let me dig into my brain. All right, so Olaf Tryggvason, he goes through his little shit, and he's like captured, and he's taken away, and then he goes through his thing with Ireland. He marries the Irish queen, and he's like, oh my god, I want to conquer Ireland. Or no, wait, he already did that. Oh no, I want to conquer Norway because I'm the rightful king. So he shows up using Ireland's forces, and he's like, all right, you're all Christian now. And he just goes through and he converts everybody. Convert to Christ or I'll chop off your child's hand. And he did this. He had a stack of child's hands for parents who wouldn't convert. So then they started to go, look, I'm Christian, look at my Thor hammer. This is my Thor hammer. It's a crucifix. It's a crucifix. It's a crucifix. I'm a Christian. And that's how the crucifix came to be. It was a whole lot of Christians, well, a whole lot of Thor people, which is T, trying to convince this mutilated freak who was literally chopping off their children's hands that they're Christians. So they held up Thor's T, which doubled as Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, to show their religion. He did in 5 fucking years what the Roman Empire did in 1,000. That's how he converted Norway. I've done a lot of fucking dig on Olaf Tryggvason. Just saying. He's the villain in my book. So, oh yeah. There's this one book I read on Olaf Tryggvason where I had to write permission to borrow the book, and they had to sign it off. I had to explain why I wanted the book. They handed it to me with white gloves. They gave me a lesson. I received a, this is how you handle this book. I understand. I love being an Ashavana. It's really a rewarding experience. They give you a, this is how you handle this book. Have you ever handled ancient books before? Yes, I have. I'm well aware of the temperature they're supposed to stay at. I'm well aware of the light levels. I'm well aware of the documentation. I will wear gloves. Thank you. You may have this book. I was allowed it 1 week. And it was like, and I read The Life of Olaf Tryggvason. I know shit about that man. This book. And then we have Snorri Sturluson. Now, this is the same information that Tolkien read and that Joseph Campbell read. And that John Lindau, our current master of Norse mythology, read. So we've got John, me, and Joseph. and our brains all have come together. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And it's been like this whole, let's rip apart Norse mythology. I really wish Tolkien was here. I would love to talk to him about this, because he made the same fucking connections. Because I read Silmarillion and I'm looking at this going, dude, I was the one who, when I read The Hobbit, and when I read Bifur Buffer Bumber, I went, hey, dude, that's totally Snorri Sturluson. You copyrighted that shit. I can see it. You just copy, paste, boom, boom. It's like, dude, come on, Tolkien. Put some effort into that. That's plagiarism. Plagiarism. I love Tolkien. But literally the sequence in The Hobbit, when he writes Bifur Buffer Bumber, 100%, I can pull up the prose edit and read you the entire passage. Like, we know this. So I'm sitting here like doing my research, and it was so funny because as I'm sitting here writing Dolor and Shadow, I'm going, hey, Tolkien was here. It was great. It was like Tolkien's like, oh, he's like, yeah. And it's so funny because it's in my books. I know people are going to be like, dude, hey, Anna was here. Anna was here. Yes. I got stuff all over. And I signed it. I signed it. It's something we do. Like, Anna was here. It's great. Anna was here. Yeah. It's great. So I'm going through shit. And I'm looking at Mithras and Mithril and Mithra and Myth and Ymir and Mimir. And Ibn Fadlan. Dude. Ibn Fadlan. Ibn Fadlan. All right, I'm going to go grab him again. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to speak with you again. Fadlan. Ibn Fadlan. All right, my love. Hello again. Volga River. Oh, we're back to the Urus. Yes! Oh, I love this. It's been a long time since I've been here. All right, so June 1921. 1921. How long did you live with them, my love? The Volga Bulgars. Yes. Or the aspect of the Volga Bulgars that Ibn Fadlan focused on was their religion and the institution of Islam in the territories. The Bulgar king. What? There was no Islam back then. That doesn't make any sense. Wait. I'm in the wrong era. I'm in the wrong era. Give me a minute. I am in 900 CE. Okay, now I'm in the right place. Right. I forgot. Just give me a minute. Okay, so Zoroastrian Muslim. I got this. Ahmad ibn Fadlan and the diplomatic party utilized established caravan routes toward Bukhara, now part of Uzbekistan. But instead of following the route all the way to the east, they turned northward, leaving the city of Gurgan near the Caspian Sea. They crossed over into Turkish people, notably the Khazar Khaganate, Oghuz Turks on the east coast of the Caspian. The, a new word, Pechenegs on the Ural River, the Bashkirs, in what is now central Russia. Right, I know this, but the largest portion of this account is dedicated to the Rus. Right, the Varangian Vikings. So the Rus are a kind of Viking. These were a nomadic Viking, and they went from Norway all the way down the Danube River. And this is the Volga trade route. I spent so much time studying the Volga trade route. The Volga trade, so there's two kinds of Vikings, and this is what people don't know. You've got basically the home base Vikings, which is what everybody knows, but then you had the nomadic Vikings. Now, the nomadic Vikings were a subgenre of Viking, and they went back and forth from Alexandria all the way up to Norway. My character, my other self, my everyone, Bergen, he was a part of the Volga trade route, and he traveled along the Volga trade route to Alexandria, which is why he knew so much about that. I have visions. I don't like to talk about the visions because it's not scientific. But when I have visions, I have memories of being there. But it's not scientific. And it's just so fucking weird because I have memories of being there. So I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, memories. And it's just fucking weird. I spent 10 years doing this research. And when I did the research from 2006 all the way up to 2015, what I was really doing was trying to locate the words to explain my visions and what I was seeing. And I wrote them down in dolor and shadow. That's really my visions, which is why it's a work of fiction. But when you still have the memories, it's just, until I find the science, I cannot comment one way or the other. So I just put that over there in the world of fiction. But I'm reading this and I'm going, I'm remembering shit. Which is why I remember shit, which is why I know shit, which is why I thought to look here, which is why I knew to look here. But I can't explain it. And I hate it when I step into the world of non-science because it's nonsense if it's not proven. Dedicated to the Rus, i.e. the Varangian Vikings, on the Volga trade route. All told, the delegation covered some 2,500 miles. So Ibn Fadlan's envoy reached the Volga Bulgar capital 922. When they arrived, Ibn Fadlan read aloud a letter from the Caliph to the Bulgar Khan and presented him with gifts from the Caliphate. At the meeting with the Bulgar ruler, Ibn Fadlan delivered the Caliph's letter, but was criticized for not bringing him with the promised money with the Caliph to build a fortress as defense against the enemies of the Bulgars. So, account of the Volgar Bulgars, and then account of the Ru people spent a lot of time with the Finns and the Slavs and the Volga Vikings and the Ru people. All of this is coming back. So he lived with them. And this is what I'm looking for, is how long did he live with them? I do not know. There's so much. Okay, so this is basically what's going on with Ibn Fadlan. In the 900s, in the 9th century, this man from Persia, Ibn Fadlan, traveled and lived among the Vikings. In fact, the movie 13th Warrior, that's Ibn Fadlan. Antonio Banderas, he portrayed the character Ibn Fadlan inside the movie 13th Warrior. That's Ibn Fadlan. That's him. And he lived with them for a while. So everything we know about the Vikings came from Ibn Fadlan. Everything we know. And Snorri Sturluson, with his account of the Icelandic tales of the Prose Edda. Oh, that's the same stuff that Tolkien read. So when I did my research, I have Ibn Fadlan and I have Snorri Sturluson. Now, the other resource that we have is what we know about Olaf Tryggvason and Norwegian history, which is sparse, okay? Not as sparse as Sweden, which is Beowulf. That's all we got, guys. Beowulf. That's all we got. Beowulf. When did Beowulf get written? I need to look that up. Beowulf. Give me the year, 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 give me the year. 700 to 1000 AD, disputed. Hardcore science, we've got it verified, 975 to 1025 AD, verified. Could be older than 700. So we have, so yeah, we're talking it was made in the middle of the Viking era. So yeah, that's solid. Now, the Viking era ended in 1000 AD, which is here, manuscript 1025 AD. So yeah, okay, so 975. All right, so this is fantastic. So let me tell you what's going on here between 700 and 975. So I'm going to give you a little crash course, and this is what happened with the Viking era. So Viking era. So 700 is when they did their whole renowned, oh my God, we're going to go ahead and destroy this we're going to pillage this monastery in Ireland. Now, it did not end there. What ended up happening is they went all over the place. They ended up settling, and they created Jorvik, which would become York, which then became New York, Jorvik. And that was a Viking trade center. It was like the core Viking trade center. The Vikings went all over the fuck place. Yes, it started off with pillage. And then it went, wow, these guys are our friends. We should trade with them. And then we're going to go ahead and marry their people. And then look at that. We are now the High Kings of Ireland. Really, they did this. They became the High Kings of Ireland. So there's a certain point in Irish history where you're like, Ireland, Ireland, Viking, 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 Viking. Wow. So now the Vikings are like ruling Ireland. And they did this. Which is why Olaf Tryggvason married into that family and went, yeah, I'm going to go and pillage, plunder Norway, and I'm going to take back my country. I really need to do just like a history show and show you what all of this shit is because it's so fucking awesome. So he then pillaged and plundered and did his thing. He Vikinged the Vikings. And yeah, so that's what's going on there. So that was 700. Now 900 comes along and even Fadlan. Now meanwhile, down in Persia, you've got them going, look at that. We've got the restored knowledge that they took from us 1,000 years ago. Yay, we can reverse engineer the disciplines again. Yay, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Look at this. We got new math. And everyone went, ooh. It was amazing. So while that's happening, then Ibn Fadlan's like, I'm going to go to Norway. And he documented all of it. And he lived there. And then we got a movie to see, so he went there. And then in the 900s, 995 AD, that is when Olaf Tryggvason decided to rain his hell down on Norway and say, this is mine now. I come from the Elven King. He literally believed and said this. I come from the Elven King. Harold Fairhair, King of Gandalf. Oh, good God, he did this. And he claimed that he was descended from the immortal elven prince. And therefore, he was the rightful king of all of Norway and Scandinavia. That is where the legend ends. And I'm sitting here going, Gandalf, which actually is Old Norse for great elf, because elf is elf. And I'm sitting here now looking at Ireland going, elf, interesting. Fae and elves. This is like the same religion. And it's funny because then the miniaturization happened. The miniaturization is a fun era. Let me tell you about the miniaturization of history. This is where all the Christians had they were compensating for something. So they decided to shrink everything. Literally, everything got shrunk. The elves became this big, and the brownies became this big, and everything that was big and magical became this big. So all of a sudden you had little leprechauns. Leprechaun is aptly Luprecon, which was like a great warrior of the Irish, but they shrank him. So the Christians literally shrank everything magical and everything that was northern, which is why we have Tolkien's magnificently large, fantastically wonderful human-sized elves, and why all the myths have them little tiny is because the miniaturization of the miniaturization happened. It's interesting. Yeah, it's like, we can't get rid of them. Let's make them small because we're big. Okay. All right. That's what they did. 900 rolls around. You got even Fadlan now over there. So then Olaf Tryggvason comes in about 60 years later, 60, 80 years later, and he completely declares war and he Christianizes all of Scandinavia. Now, while that's going on, it's around that time that, well, that's when the Crusades start up. So the Crusades are like, all right, we're going to go in and we're going to wipe out the Muslims. And that's what they do. They go into Turkey and they like ransack the place. And then you got the Knight Templars popping up. And this is where it gets interesting because the Knight Templars, I've done so much research on them. So much research. And I cannot stop looking at Odin being an Ashavana, the pursuit of wisdom. That's what this is all about. Which is why I asked the question, so what's inside the wisdom? but I'm here. So I'm going, oh, I know what's inside the wisdom. I know exactly what's inside the wisdom, which is why I do what I do. Here's the wisdom. Shh. Shh, you're not supposed to have this. We have very clearly Ibn Fadlan providing data to the Old Norse and or the Old Norse providing data over to Ibn Fadlan. We have this real significant, very clear, like in your face, no fucking shit connection. If I were to follow my logic on this one, these are words that existed long before that connection of 921 CE. Pause. Fortunately, I have like 18 books on the Vikings. Oh, the Ausberg ships. That's right. My Ireland book. The stuff. The old man in the tar pits. Sid Kona, 600 CE. We have nothing older than 600 CE. Nothing is older than 600 CE in Norseman. I already logically deduced this. Norse is not an origin. Norse is not an origin. But I will tell you what Norse mythology is. It is, So this is gorgeous. This I'm very, very happy about. This is something I'm very happy about. Oh, this I'm so excited about because I know what I do have. I'll show you what I've got. There's no name for this. I have to invent it. I love it when I invent names. I get to invent a new name. What will I call it? Preservation point. A preservation point. Oh, yes. I love preservation points. They are gold in archaeology. I'm going to show you what these are. So a preservation point. Zoroaster to Confucius. That is one preservation point. These are examples, and then I'm going to define. I want to make sure I get these down proper. Zoroaster to Pythagoras, to Plato, to Socrates, to Aristotle, and Anna. Ibn Fadlan to Norway, 952 CE, 920 CE. Snorri Sturluson, 1100 CE. Zoroaster, Cyrus the Great, 600 CE. Ireland, Egypt, Mesopotamia. All right, now I'm going to show you what this is. Ireland, Egypt, and Mesopotamia are origins. We have 3 separate origins, so we can sit down and we can compare all the common denominators. Now, then after that, we have preservation points. A preservation point is when somebody transfers the data over to X. I missed one. Hinduism. Oh, you beautiful man. Thank you, Cyrus. So Zoroastrian over to Hinduism. So I have 4 preservation points of Zoroastrian. What this means is I don't have written documentation, but what I do have is Confucianism, Pythagoras, Hinduism, Cyrus the Great, and Plato. And as a result, I can now look for all the common denominators. When I look for the common denominators, I will be able to deduce precisely which parts of their beliefs reflect Zoroaster. I also need to go back on Siddhartha, Buddha. And that's another one. So once I get all that data together and I start collecting all the data points, I'll be able to see precisely what Zoroaster said to everybody. And I will be able to compare that with what Ibn Fadlan said. And also, which I've already researched, I've already done that. And also what I know about Old Norse or Norse mythology, which I've already done also. And Snorri Sturluson, which I've already documented, I've already done. Then I take my knowledge of Ireland, Egypt, and Mesopotamia, and I look for those common denominators. So here is the map. Boom. I need the common denominators. Oh, here it is. This took way too fucking long to figure out. This only took me 40 fucking years. Thanks, Rome. All right, so here's what's going on. Now that I've been able to remove the Roman filth that be, we can narrow it down to preservation points and or the origins. So I've got 3 origins. It's a 3 data points. I love my data points. So I got 3 data points here. And then I've got 4 I got 4 data points. Then I got 4 preservation points. 5 because I got Siddhartha. So I'm so happy. So I got 5 preservation points. And I also have Ibn Fadlan, Snorri Sturluson, and Old Norse. Well, okay, Old Norse came from Snorri Sturluson. We have to cross that out because that is Snorri Sturluson. Beowulf. Nope. Beowulf is not related to this at all. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. The Gamma. Lake Vanir. Oh, and they walked all over the fuck place. I will look at Beowulf, but I'm going to put a question mark. That's like a tertiary source. So I'll have to take a look at that. Question mark. So I have Ireland, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. We need to find the common denominators. And then I'm going to have to look at the preservation points. Cyrus the Great, Confucius, Hinduism, Pythagoras. I have not yet studied Hinduism. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. Oh, yes, I'm excited. I've already done Buddhism. Confucianism. Nope, I have not studied Confucianism. Taoism, haven't touched that at all. Very excited. Very, very excited. I finally have the reasons to get into that world. Pythagoras, Plato, Socrates. Oh, that's already my brain. That is my brain. Hypothesis. If Zoroaster taught Pythagoras and Euclid, which led to Plato, which led to Aristotle and Anna, which led to Anna doing what Pythagoras did. Then I already have the purest form of Zoroaster in my head. I know what I'm doing. I'm looking for the checks and balances to scientifically validate using common denominators all of the data I already know to look for the commonalities between the origin story and the true history. If Zoroaster was wrong, then I wouldn't exist. This is the wisdom. You did it, Zoroaster. This is it. When I got this knowledge, I had this moment where I was going, this is really important shit. This is really fucking important shit. I gotta tell people. This was not a one-man effort. It was a collaborative effort. No one man could have done it. The common denominators will allow me to separate the truth from all of me. So it will literally purify it. The common denominators will take all the parts of my knowledge and wisdom, and it will literally separate it and siphon it out. So I'm purifying the wisdom. That's what I'm doing. I am purifying the wisdom because I know a lot of shit, but I'm only looking at the simplified, purified form. So I already have the wisdom. Now I'm asking, where is the purest form of it? I want to simplify it. And the common denominators are the ones that are going to show me what it is. The common denominators of all of this. Now, the question is, what are the common denominators? Ash tree. So this is Ashavana. This is what this is. This is Asha. Now, when I was looking at Zoroastrian today, they've changed it, which is good. They're supposed to. But they don't have this knowledge to change it. And this is why I had a problem with Zoroastrian. It's because when I started to look at it, I went, they changed it. But they changed it without the knowledge. So what happened was, as Zoroastrian changed over the decades, centuries, years, it became different. And I could start to see the divide of Zoroastrian, where it was traditional and Reformation. And they disagreed with how it was supposed to go. And they were like, no, you have tampered with it. It's not the purest form. And then you have people over here going, well, no, we had to amend it. So now you have the Gathas, and you have this over here. And I'm looking at the two of them going, what's the common denominator? I agree with Gathas. I agree with Gathas. But I already have it in my head. Now, I already read the eschatology of Zoroaster, and it's spot on. Spot on. Spot fucking on. It's a very simple, like a five sentence prediction of the end of the days or end of the world. And I'm going, all right, there you go. That's solid. Right there you go. This is it. This is it. And I have no doubt Zoroaster wrote that. No fucking doubt. No doubt. It's way too fucking simple and basic, and it coalesces with, is that the right word? It absolutely is common with all the common denominators. So this is the prophecy. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's correct. What that means is Plato's point, deconstruction, reconstruction, Plato's point. The omega and the alpha, beginning and end. As it started, so shall it end. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. That part is true. The question is, what's the beginning? No, I already know that beginning. The beginning is love. So we're all just integrating back into love. So shall it be. Because we started as love, we will end with love. It is and there is the force, which is the good and evil. And it's that dichotomy of good and evil. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it starts with love, and then it disintegrates for comprehension and understanding, for knowledge. For knowledge. That is why we did all of this. To know. Oh, that's beautiful. Why did we do this? To know. That's why we did it. That is such a pure Asha thing to say. We did it to know. That's why. That is so fucking gorgeous. That's why. To know. That's knowledge. It's so beautiful. This was just one big fucking school. Now we know. There is a balance. Oh, good God, is there a balance? There is a balance. But people don't understand the balance. There's not just a balance. That is the learning process. There's something else. And I'm trying to give that name for a long time. All right, let's try it. This is like stage 2 and 3 of scientific method. So this is the part where I try and use words to define, cut it out, and then I put it into the logic. So this is not logical. This is not mathematically proven. This is not physics. This is me trying to translate out of my intuition into actual translation. Stage 3 of scientific method. This is not fact. This is just a translation. I haven't gotten to the fact part yet. There's a scale, a balance, and the balance has to stay. But in order to do the balance, you require the swinging pendulum. You have to experience A and B, and then the integration to achieve understanding. Now, when you achieve understanding, that is when, well, this is the graph. So you have swinging A to B, that's stage 1. Then you have the integration, which is stage 2. And then you reach understanding, which puts a little notch over here on this. And the more you know, the more you reach up to love. So it's a little notch of do, 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 do. And once it's full, you have love. People confuse this balance process with this. And they think, oh, no, I need love and fear. No, 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 no. You do not need love and fear. That is not what the balance is. This is the balance. And you want to go through the balancing to add to the knowing. So this is the scale of knowing. And it's not a scale of knowing. You want to fill up the knowing. And you want 100% of knowing. But if you are not at 100% of love, I know it's not logical. Bear with me. I'm trying to cut it out and find it. So this is called exploratory dialogue. You have to be at love in order to go through the balancing, the swinging A to B to integration to understanding. So this right here is the learning state of learning. So there it is. So this is the state of learning. And if you do not maintain this position, you cannot do this process. And the more you do this process, the more you stabilize and secure this. I see the catch-22. So that this nourishes this, and this nourishes this. I have seen this for over 30 perspectives, and it's been really hard to try and articulate it. And now I'm starting to do that. And I'm like, so when people are like, oh no, you leave love affair, that's over there, that's over there. This is the karma part. And this is what people don't understand. This is the karma section. See that? So this is the karma part. But this is not the karma part. This is something else. This is the dichotomy of good and evil. This is a dichotomy. This is balance. This is dichotomy. And this is where people have really, really fucked this up because they try and apply karma to dichotomy. And I'm going, don't do that. You never, ever mix your karma with your dichotomy. What are you doing? No, they don't mix. They are side by side. You got to do an indulge A, and you got to do an indulge B, and you got to integrate your karma with your dichotomy. There, that's what I'm trying to say. You got to integrate A and B because they themselves are not exempt. There, that's what I'm trying to tell people. So you have karma A, which is the balance in the scales, and you have dichotomy, which is B. And I'm still trying to explain this. And you have to integrate karma with dichotomy to get the integrated A and B. This is wisdom. This is the point of wisdom. And when you mix up these two things, you mix up all of your learning. I am so far out right now. And I'm like, I used to be scared. If you go back on my earlier videos, I was so terrified of talking about any of this stuff. I was terrified of talking about this stuff. That was forever ago. It's weird because every time I record a video, there's no one here now, but I know there will be later. I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, and he said, don't do Instagram, do YouTube. He goes, on YouTube, they will watch your videos forever. I said, I know. Everything, I am the summation of everything I was before this point. People are going to watch my older videos and they're going to be like, that's the journey. That's the cost. You need it all. The science of humanity. Yeah. The science of humanity. I can feel it for me. It's this, God, it's been 40 years. 40 years. What is love? And what is God? I can draw you a map. Oh, I will show you my journey. I can do that now. Every George Orwell fan is going to go nuts over this. This is where I am. In 1984, I asked the question, what is love? And that began my journey. I had to completely disintegrate it, reverse engineer it, and then reconstruct it. And now I am here. And that's what this is. This page is literally the summation of the question I asked in 1984, what is love? That's why you ask a question before you begin research. The Zoroastrian religion is philosophy. The Zoroastrian religion is philosophy. So what is philosophy? The science of wisdom. The science and logic of wisdom. That is what philosophy is. There. It should have been called Wizology. I like that. Wizology. It could have been called Ashology. 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 Wizology. Sophie means pure. So it could have been called Sophiasha. But another word for wisdom is love. Hence, philosophy. It is the science and logic of wisdom and love. And I wanted to know where it came from. It came from Zoroaster. And they did it twice. In 700 BCE and again in, 600 BCE and again in 900 CE. Same region. So now I'm asking the question, what the fuck is in their water? What the fuck is in their water? Tigris and Euphrates. Oh. The Taurus Mountains was a burn site for all of the Zoroastrian religions. The Taurus Mountains. And it also nourished the tributaries for the Tigris and Euphrates River. Hence the Fertile Crescent. Uruk was at its base. Uruk. This is where the cradle of civilization started. There's something else here, one more thing. What else? There's one more thing, I can feel it. One more thing. Rashnu, Rashnu is in the Western language name for the Zoroastrian of justice. Rashnu, together with Mithra and Sorosha. Rashnu was one of the three judges who passed judgment on the souls of people after the death. Rashnu's standard appellation is the very straight. Light, oaths, justice, the sun, contracts, friendship. In addition to being the divinities of contracts, Mithra is also a judicial figure. Sorosha. They also have the triangle. Mithra, the Gathas, Vendidad, the ash hills of West Azerbaijan province. I need Urmia. Show me Urmia. What I need is Google Maps. Show me Google Maps. Come on, Google Maps. Don't we know? Google Maps. Steve. Steve is the name of the dude in Google Maps. You know, when you see that little guy, yellow, and you drop him, that's Steve. I named him 10 years ago. I spent a lot of time with Steve. Urmia. Urmia. Where the fuck is Urmia? There's Syria. Okay. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Now perspective. See Euphrates River. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I have a problem. Shit. I've been working in 6000 BCE. They changed the names. Damn it. All the names are different. Ah, shit. I had this problem when I was in Norway. Oh, fuck. We have a problem. All the names are different. Okay, wait a minute. Come on. Think. How do I translate these names? There's too many of them. I can do this. Oh, shit. It's literally all in a different language. I studied Avestian. I did not study. It's going to take me a minute, guys. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't speak this language. What did they change the names to? I have no... Oh, wait, there's a tigress. All right, I have my point of relativity. All right, now I got relativity. Now I know where I am. All right, give me a minute here. All right, I found the tigress. I'm good. Fortunately, they did not change the river name. They almost never change the river names. It's weird. They almost never change. Wow. Gamas? That's a name in Norway also. So yeah, okay. All right, so I found the tigress. All right. Okay. Oh, there's the Nile. All right. I got it. All right. So we got this here. This is a problem I've always had. There's the Euphrates. All right. I got this. I don't think they call it Uruk anymore. La 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 la. All right, here we go. There's the Euphrates. All right, fantastic. All right, now I've got a point of relativity. All right, so now I got this point here where I can go. All right, so I got this green spot right here. All right. Okay, now I just need to do relativity. Okay, now I see where I'm at. So there's Batman. There is a place in Turkey called Batman, people. Did you know this? Holy fucking shit. You can go to Batman, Turkey. Wow. Okay, that just hit my nerd bone. Just give me a minute. I need to compose myself again. I did not know they had a place called Batman. This is the best fucking... Where's Iron Man? All right, so we're going to do this. Wow, I did not know that. Batman. Where are you heading? I'm heading to Batman. I like to vacation in Batman. So, where do you live? I live in Batman. Oh my gosh. This is a beautiful world. All right, Batman. Oh, good dibs. All right, guys, we got a name. Oh, we're going to be the coolest people. We're going to call this place Batman. Oh my, that's going to be, fuck you, we're Iron Man. All right, I got to calm down here. That just like completely like, whoa, there's a place called Batman. I am living in the wrong city. Oh, there's Lake Urmia. Okay, so there's Lake Urmia. In relativity to Batman. All right, I need to calm down. All right, I got it. Okay. So there's Urmia. Oh, yes. Oh, I see it now. Okay, I see it now. All right. Okay, got it. All right. So Urmia. All right, that's where Urmia is. Further that way. Next to Batman. Guy, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right here. Ready? Ready? This is Batman. My God, this is so fucking amazing. And that's Batman. Oh yeah. All right, I gotta calm down. So these are all these are all the Taurus mountains. Okay. Oh my God. Batman is in the Taurus mountains. I found the Bat Cave. All right, I gotta calm down. Bat Cave. Okay, that was like, oh God, there's a Bat Cave. All right, I gotta calm down. So apparently Batman is in the Taurus mountains, guys. I found him, Joker. All right, so here we go. So this is like, and I got Urmia, which is like further over that way. All right, so there you go. So I'm like Batman. Urmia is where there's a lot of ash mounds. There's also ash mounds in the Taurus mountains also. So you've got basically pockets of ash where they did a lot of fires, and then you get the ash, and we also have them located in Urmia. So it's and this is it right here. This is fascinating. You know what this is about? I will tell you what this is about. This is the moral of the story. This is why human beings are beautiful. This is why we tell stories around fire pits. This is why. This is why we tell stories around fire pits. That's what all of this is about. So stories around fire pits. That is our religion, guys. That is our religion. There. This is our point. This is our point of origin. We got to tell stories around fire pits. We got to tell stories around fire pits because that's our point of origin. That is what we've got to do. That is our religion. That is our worship. That is our practice. That's why we've always done it. The very fucking first thing we did. The very first thing we did. We built a fire and we sat around it and we told a story. We are the race of stories around the fire. That is who we are. Okay. So that is the common denominator of all of us. That's why we all go camping. We need to do this. We have to do it. Apparently, it is in our DNA for over 6,000 years. Fortunately, me being me, I already did the data on this, so I know what it means. So I've already done research. I did something called Campfire Community. And it was like 4 sessions where we all sat around and we just sang, told story, played games on Zoom. And it was the most healing, nurturing thing I have ever seen in my life. An hour in, we all just relaxed. 2 hours in, we all cried. 3 hours in, we laughed. 4 hours in, none of us wanted to say goodbye. 5 hours in, none of us could stay awake. This is the oldest tradition. This is how we connect. This is it. Yep. I remember I was at this one location. It was October of 2022. It was so cold that night. I was in a Halloween thing. And we got to the end. We were exhausted. It was late. And there were like fire pits all over the place. People were around them. And I was so cold. And I approached one of them and I said, "May I share your fire?" That is like the oldest question in the world. May I sit at your fire? It is like peace. Yes, they said. And I sat down and I warmed my hands. Is this your first time? Yep. Never been here before. May I share your fire? Wow, that's old. I remember this one Halloween. I love Halloween. I remember this one Halloween, we had a fire pit and I had my beautiful section set up and I was giving children candy and I was the person who had cider for the adults. So if you came, the adults got hot cider. And this one child, without missing a beat, like he was our best friend, like he'd done it a million times, he walked right into our little space, walked right over to that fire and just sat right down and went, "Yep, this is where I belong." It was hilarious. We all just cracked up laughing that this boy just out of nowhere just, "Oh yeah, fire, I know where I belong. All right, here I am, I'm at the fire." All right, so this is the origin of human. This is the common denominator. We have to do this. This is our religion. This is our religion, people. You build a fucking campfire and you sit down and you tell a story. That's what you do. That is our religion. How could we ever lose this? Let's not lose it again this time, please. Thank you. May the kindest of words always find you.